Michelle had to let someone go in her team and she wasn't looking forward to it. Can I tell you, this happens a lot and it's one of the most difficult challenges that many leaders experience in their careers, giving someone bad news and letting them go. I'm Margie Island. I am a leadership researcher and coach, registered psychologist, and passionate about creating happy, healthy leaders and leadership teams. So if you're in a situation like Michelle, you've got a discussion coming up where you are having to let someone go, whether it's to do with a redundancy, it might be performance, there might be other reasons. It's very normal for you to be feeling anxious yourself and even a little defensive in having to have this discussion. And there's some simple things that you can do that can help manage this discussion. I talk a lot about being a curious leader, using curiosity as a way to move you out of this reactive part of your brain, your amygdala defensive brain, into your logical problem solving brain. But what you might not know of as well is in the prefrontal cortex, this is where we also process empathy. And so, in a discussion like that, having empathy can be really helpful. And what can happen is in the discussion with someone, in a lot of cases, you are getting pushback from that employee. Maybe they're surprised about it, maybe they disagree, or they get upset. And you immediately want to respond in a way of managing that discomfort, of seeing them in that space and you with your own reaction. And so by leaning in and being curious, it can help you move more into an empathetic approach. So what does that look like? So if you're in a discussion with someone and they start to have a strong reaction, using that, I can see you're upset, well, that's interesting. Tell me more about why you're feeling that way or how you're feeling that way, or tell me more about that so I can fully understand what you're saying here. It might not be those exact words, but what we tend to do is we kind of want to get out of the meeting as soon as possible. We want to shut it down. We don't want to get into a debate about whether the person's role, whether they're going to continue employment because a decision has been made. Surprisingly, by letting that employee express their point of view, even if you disagree with it, even if the organisation disagrees with it, even if they're lacking self-awareness around the situation, can just really help take some of the heat out of it. I kind of liken it to press conferences where you've got a politician or someone who's willing to take every single question from the press as a strategy to just kind of get them to stop asking questions. You know, like, have you got any more questions? Keep asking me questions. And in a way, it kind of makes the issue kind of go, not necessarily go away, but dissipate. So in this kind of exchange in letting someone go, it's having a similar approach. It's really letting that employee say everything they need to say, you being okay with feeling uncomfortable, hearing stuff that perhaps you don't want to hear, and inviting them to continue to speak. And you can use these kind of techniques like, that's interesting, tell me more. That's interesting. So, what I hear you're saying is this. Have I got that right? Paraphrasing what they've said and continuing to do that and then finishing with, is there anything else? If there is anything else, then you continue until there is nothing else. You'll be surprised how quickly a conversation like this can go. Many leaders say to me, oh my God, that's going to turn into a 90-minute meeting where I'm going to have to deal with this person going through all the reasons why we've got it wrong. And I can tell you in my experience, is most leaders are pleasantly surprised to find out that it actually ends up being a lot better. So give it a go. Let me know how you go. I hope that's helpful. Bye for now.